thing I've learned about people, they don't mind spending their money on a good diagnostic and the job being done the correct way. Now, if you haven't watched my short and not brought up the speed on this one, here's what we have. Here what we have. You know, I'm always messing up my words, good people. This vehicle came in to me after leaving the dealership that on the 11th, and it came to me on the 12th. They basically tried to sell her a whole bunch of coils and a whole bunch of other irrelevant stuff, okay? The customer told me that she told them that, hey, my car is also overheating. The temperature hand is getting a little hot. Because she told me the same thing. It was in my write-up, but for some odd reason, it didn't get into the write-up. So I pulled it in, did a block test, failed the block test, need an engine. That's my diagnostic. They was about to take this lady for about $1,500, pretty much. And it's pretty sad, you know. But basically, they was throwing a whole bunch of words like likely need a tune-up. I'm like, man, you can't be playing with folks' money these days. People will hurt you over a dang on likely. Y'all better be careful out there, dealerships. Yeah. Maybe it was a miscommunication with the service writer with the cooling overheating issue, but the tech should have known better. The tech proceeded to write up, oh, it needs a coolant flush. Need a coolant flush? What? If you simply take a look inside the radiator, there's no freaking coolant in there, nor there's coolant in the overflow tank. That should have prompted you right there as a technician to go get further information on this car. Ask the customer, hey, what's going on? I noticed you didn't have any coolant. I think we need to focus on a cooling system diagnostic. And the customer would have simply said, yeah, that's what I'm in here for. I told the service writer that my car was overheating. Problem solved. You would have sold her the right stuff, hopefully. They proceeded to recommend all ignition coils, even though she just had them all replaced. And they're only recommending them because they're not OE. Now, of course, there's times when that come into play, when you need to go OE in certain situations, but this situation wasn't called for that. They also recommended a whole bunch of irrelevant stuff like battery, which that's not irrelevant. She actually do need a battery. Let's take a look here. Tried to charge her, where's the coils? $740 for coils. And this is just vague as heck because recommended service, engine light diagnostic. So I'm assuming they're talking about the coils because that's what the engine light diagnostic is for. Here's with the coolant exchange, $250. I guess they were just gonna add coolant because they figured it wasn't no coolant in there to begin with. So we just top it off for $250. Exchange, stamp of approval. And this is ridiculous right here. $300 for fuel induction service, pretty much. Yeah, fuel induction service. This is insane. So she would have wasted a lot of money. And I guess the dealership would have said, oh, yeah, none of this stuff worked, or you need an engine. You're not getting none of your money back. I don't know, but it would have just been a big mess that could have been avoided. Proper diagnostic procedures should have been this. Just like I did, pulled the car in, checked for codes. Didn't see any codes, but after looking back at their diagnostic report, the technician did erase everything. So that, you know, that's why I didn't see anything. So I was like, okay. Car not skipping, test drove it, drove fine. All right, well, let me move on to the overheating issue. And good people, you know Alex, the car doctor. Go ahead and drop down in the comments. What's the first thing you do when dealing with a overheating car? Got it? No cheating. If you said block test, good job. You're a real Alex, the car doctor viewer. So that's what I did. I pulled the cap off. Of course, nothing in here. I always got to get my morning fix. Combustion gas gets me going. Yeah, it smells like combustion gas. First off, that's the first thing I noticed. Put my stuff on there, turn yellow. Need an engine. Pretty much. That's going to be my diagnostic. I'm going to get into why I like to replace engines in a bit. But as of right now, I'm gonna let my guy turn it loose on this. He'll get this engine knocked out and pull it out in no time. He's actually waiting for me to get out his way. So let me do that and go over to my engine block and explain why I don't do head gaskets. All off the truck for the Honda CRV over there. You know me, I gotta look this thing over with a fine-tooth comb. Already I see some leakage here on the front cover. So maybe front crank seal, that's what it appears to look like. So I'm gonna pull that off and offer to replace her front crank seal for her, because we don't want no issues. It's got a new spool valve, so that's pretty good. Happy with that. Give myself a little duck walk. Y'all get to see me duck walk. Everything else looked pretty good. Now, I said I was going to discuss why I don't do head gaskets here at my shop. Dave Otto, he explained it wonderful, because I've never did a really in-depth video of it. And he was working on this Pentastar engine and had a blown head gasket, and after he took the head off, he discovered that the block deck was warped. Block deck gets warped if you don't have the engine out. He had to remove the engine to pull that particular engine out, because it was in a Ram ProMaster. So the engine was already out, but let's say you're doing the head job and you don't have to pull the engine out. Well, if that block deck is warped, the engine is gonna have to come out, sent off to the machine shop. You're gonna spend way more money than you originally thought you had to spend, because you have to get that the block machine. Now, you're probably wondering, like, what is he talking about? What's going on here? Well, I can show you better than I can tell you. But with modern day engines, the block is aluminum and the head is aluminum. So we have two aluminum pieces. This is the engine block right here, aluminum. Head, aluminum. Aluminum is more, what's the word I'm looking for? Subjective to warpage than cast iron block, which we have right here. Cast iron, it holds up to heat a lot better. It will not warp like an aluminum head here. So what happened is that the block, well, let me just show you. I can have a cylinder head off over here. It's kind of messy over there. I have an engine actually on a stand over here.
And proceeds to bring us to another messy area.
Look, it's not my fault, you know. Not my fault.
Definitely your fault.
But here we have an engine block with the cylinder head off. And here we're looking at the block deck. So in theory, MLS head gasket don't blow. That's the multi-layer steel. What'll happen is it'll stop sealing because this metal is no longer flat. When warpage occurs, just picture little mountains on this block deck, and it's supposed to be completely machine flat, no more than maybe a thousandth of an inch of misshaped metal. So what you do to check the block deck is take a straight edge, it's completely straight, clean it up first, make sure it don't have any foreign material on it that can interfere with the testing. Place the flat edge on there, take a filler gauge and look up the specs, what it's supposed to be. It'll say no more than a thousandth of an inch of, warpage. So boom, and try to stick the filler gauge under the straight edge. If it goes under there, okay, that's a thousandth of an inch. Feels kind of tight, or if it feels loose, you'll keep going up until, okay, bam, but it's at 4/1000ths of an inch now, and that's completely warped and wiped out, and that block needs to go to the machine shop, which is going to cost a lot more money
Right.
than originally quoted.
The thing about Dave, though, he is the machine
Yes.
shop too. So
So that's the beauty
shout
about.
out to Dave's Auto
Yeah.
Center. Like
He be doing his thing.
yeah, he's older. I know he get a lot of hate too, but
The man know what he's talking
yeah,
about at the end of the
know,
day.
you're gonna get naysayers, but he has a repair side and a machine side, so he don't have to deal with third
Outsource.
parties, right? Like we do.
And that's what I don't want to deal with. It's all about dealing with third parties, because here at my shop, I don't want a maybe fix, because maybe they did the head job. Maybe they did the resurface right. Maybe they didn't. I'm not taking that chance. You want to take that chance, go to another shop and have them do the head gasket. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't. I don't deal with the maybes. I deal with stamp of approval 100% of the time. All the time. Try all the time anyway. We only human, right?
Question:
What you
How
got?
much coffee you had today?
One
Jim
cup.
said, "Sean, sew a button." Listen, Jim, I can't sew.
I don't know why I keep ending up with this shirt. I wash my shirts all the time, but
No, this is an Airmark fault. So if you guys know, I'm calling on my people in digital land. Any good uniform vendors, because this is Airmark. The buttons pop off the shirts, the pants, the
Look,
guys
I
are
got
zip
a
tying.
zip tie.
We looking for something else. Recommend stuff. Give me a solution. I already have one, but I want to see what y'all got to say. But Jim, Mrs. Car Doctor cannot sew. Alex is actually the sewer in the family, not me.
Surprise, surprise. Delivery for Alex the car doctor. I wonder what's wrong with this. Nissan Armada. Pretty good truck. Just want to thank God that I do stay busy in these rough times that we stand in. You know, everybody else around me seem to be struggling getting people laying. I've been staying consistent. What you want, baby girl?
Are we getting food?
We ain't got no money.
You don't got no money. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, dollar. Dollar. No.
We call her dollar bill. God, dog.
Are we getting food?
Yes.
No, girl.
Yay! Okay, that's fine.
But no, anyway, like I was saying, I like the engine that these have. They have the 5.6 V8. They found in the Nissan Titans, the Armadas, a couple of the Infinities use these engines, and the Nissan MV, which I was personally about to get at one point for a family van until I got the SX Express.
I was going to piggybacking off what you said. Oh, we staying busy. I like to think that it's because you got a special camera woman that pumps out the content. Go back. Go back.
Yeah.
Alex can't dance. I'm sure you guys can tell.
Come on, I can boogie. Let's groove tonight. Light a candle, right?
I don't think that's the words.
As you can see, we dropped the whole cradle with the engine attached to it. That is the best way to remove the engine. Now, pretty sure some people are gonna be like, oh, I'm moving from the top all the time. Yeah, you're gonna catch a hard time. We believe in working hard, not smart around here. Did y'all catch that? Just flopping around. I always say that around here. Work hard, not smart. No, we work it easy when it comes to this. So,
And it's kind of like art. We let the techs, however they want to do it.
but no, that's the procedure for this.
Yeah.
That is the procedure.
But even if he wanted to come from the top, he could. If he wanted to. As long as it's done right.
Yeah. Yep. So he about to separate it now and get everything swapped over to the new engine and call it a day. Most people think when they're getting a used engine or a new engine for that case, they're thinking all the components are gonna be new and everything gonna be switched over. Heck, I've had even customers come to me and be like, hey, my mileage is still saying 200,000. They said the engine got 130 on it. No, ma'am, you can't change the engine. You can't change the vehicle mileage. That's illegal. You can't tamper with that. So, yes, the engine may have 130 on it, but by putting the engine in, it doesn't change the mileage. But when we install engines, we put your old components back on. We swap everything over. So all the wiring, the pulleys, the alternator, the AC compressor. I've had people blame me for the AC compressor falling apart. Months, maybe about a month later, like, well, I got a new engine. This supposed to be new. No, sir. Now we put your old compressor back on your car. So that 200 and something thousand mile components gets transferred back over. If it's working at the time when we put it in, we're not gonna put up a fuss. Now we will do situations like this, you know, replace seals, replace rear main seals if they look like they're pouring, or offer it to the customer, be like, hey, while the engine is out, do you want to, you know, reseal this engine so you won't have issues, because it is a used engine. But yeah, most people don't know that we swap back over your old components, especially the catalytic converter, the throttle bodies, and things like that. So, just to throw that out there for you good people.
Well, I got something I want to throw.
What you want to throw? You
I
say-
ain't seen your work boots in a long time.
Oh, they on vacation, see. they went to the Barbados. They yeah.
Goodbye.
Meanwhile, y'all remember the 19 Armada that came off the tow truck? Well, it came in for a no start condition. When we approached the situation, of course, go in there, hit the start button, nothing. Kept messing with it, and eventually to start up. Okay, this is weird. We pulled it in, ran our checks, and we noticed that when it didn't start, the brake light switch wasn't turning on. This brake light switch right here will stop a push button start vehicle from not starting. So, you know, when you get a starter, no start situation that come in, check the obvious, of course, check the starter, check the starter operation, the starter was good. Check fuses, and hooked up our scanner and started looking through data. And that's one of the things that need to work in order for a push button vehicle to start. So change the switch, start up every time. All right, we back. Got the Honda all rolling again. Stuff do take time in this industry when dealing with engines, because sometimes you need authorizations for different things. I had suggested a engine reseal on the new one. Also, the company, to get the warranty, required the same thing. So we got approved for that. You know, everything is purring like a kitten. I'll show you that in a bit. This is the old engine, of course. Y'all seen it. Leaking everywhere. Long head gasket. The works. Ugh, yucky. Man. Now, when I make videos like this situation, I get really a mixed view. You got, on one hand, people mad at me. On the other hand, people like, yeah, get them, Alex. Most of the people that are mad with me are the people that's in this industry, I think. It's a couple of comments that stuck out. Couldn't hardly get a couple of comments that stuck out to me. Babe, take these comments away. Let's see what they had to say.
All right, these are 3 comments that the community had to say. First of all, from Jeff Compton, which is a follower of ours,
Yeah.
so we don't take it too personal because he be in here, but I think he owns a shop. He's saying it's very easy to get clicks and likes in the automotive space online by throwing other members of the industry under the bus with some underhood pics of a vehicle and a photocopy of the work order. The point is, you can be part of the problem with division within the industry, or you can be part of the solution. And then I'll leave it up here for you guys to read. What do you have to say about that?
That was
one?
very confusing, because hearing what you had to say, he want me to stay quiet about calling out cricket mess. To me, that's being part of the problem. We will get nowhere in this lifetime if we don't say nothing. If somebody's seeing a child getting abducted, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be like, whoa, 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 you know, leave this child alone, buddy, or you're gonna see the other end of something that you don't like. And, you know, or anything like that. You see something, say something. We've always been a nation built on that. So I don't understand that right there. That's very confusing to me. Y'all write down in the comments and let me know. What was the other comment?
And I was gonna say too, before we even made anything, we gave them the opportunity to make the correction. They didn't.
They shoot the customer away.
Yeah, this is not for clicks and likes.
No, I don't care about that stuff.
Next comment. We get this a lot. This doesn't only happen at the dealership. This also happens in aftermarket shops. Been at Nissan dealership for a few years. It's not a dealership issue or aftermarket shop issue. It's a crappy tech that is looking to fill his pocket. What do you say about that?
I can definitely agree with that. I mean, it's not a specific dealership or mom and pop shop issue. It's an everywhere issue. So I 100% agree with that. But in the end of the day, the company who's hiring these people needs to properly train their employees to be better. Train their service writers. Hey, you know, if a customer is coming back with you saying, y'all guys made a mistake, don't shoo them away, like, oh, this is our diagnostic and we're sticking to it. No, this is what I would have done in this situation. Well, ma'am, you know, get it towed back up here. Indeed, if it's our situation, we'll take care of the tow bill. You know, we'll reimburse you any kind of way we can. That's how that situation should have been handled. Not, that's our diagnostic. We're sticking to it like we're perfect. No one's perfect. I'm not saying that.
All right, and the last one, I think it echoes our sentiment exactly, because you never said it was only dealership only, but that's not what the video was about. It was about the specific dealership. But in the space of social media, you have to cover everything, even what you didn't say, to make people know that, hey, that's not what I meant. So I think this last comment here on the screen by Classic, he says, yeah, but a typical customer actually expects more professionalism and expertise on their brand of vehicle with factory-backed resources and machine behind it. For example, if Alex decided to screw somebody, there is no regional manager, corporate, another Honda dealer that could step into the chain where somebody has the opportunity to display integrity. I think it's very much accurate of
that's
what we're saying.
100% accurate.
Yeah.
When people take the car to the dealership, they're expecting perfection. First of all, they're the manufacturer pretty much. You know, they're getting the dealership, they're getting the manufacturer training. But in this world we stay in, and the dealerships, they don't send their guys to school. They're very lackadaisical on that. I've worked at the dealership for, you know, a couple of years, and not one time they sent me to school. Made a whole bunch of promises. Oh yeah, we're gonna send you to school. We're gonna send you to school, and I was getting all excited. Okay, I'm sitting around twiddling my thumbs when I'm gonna get to school. Oh, hang out with Joe over there. He been to school. You know, Joe may not like me. He may be holding information back. So it's a lot of politics stuff going on in the dealership that is not cool, and the big wigs really step in and stop just looking at everybody like a number and make it better, in my opinion. But the engine is actually running. That's how quiet it is. No overheating. Everything is put back in its place. We're just letting it run and let the stuff burn off. That's steam from the radiator where we had a little spill. But this is what I train my guys to do. You know, when we touch stuff, make it look like no one has been in here. And of course, always go behind them, make sure all the little 10 millimeters in place, and make sure everything is hooked up. This is how it's supposed to look. So I can confidently give this customer her car back and sleep well at night. That's what it's all about at the end of the day, good people. Helping people, making sure people is getting their money's worth when they're getting their car fixed. That's how everywhere's supposed to be, in my opinion, but sadly, it's not. The story ended well. Like I mentioned before, it's not about the money. This lady would have wasted so much money and got nowhere, but she spent twice as more with me. At the end of the day, I think people just want their cars fixed the right way and not have to keep coming back to the dealership, coming back for the same issue. Well, until next time, good people, I enjoyed it. Alex Car Doctor out. See you guys on the next one.